It's your under degrees. Sip with me. I'll pour it hot, so hot. I'll pour it sweet, so sweet. Spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your under degree, feeling great, spilling tea. Have a seat and join me. Sip some tea, unwind with me. Let's grab a snack and talk some smack. I'm your girl, I got your back. I got the news, I got the views. I bet you can't wait, I know you can't wait to sip this tea. Sip this tea, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping 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 this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your under degree, shining bright, set the stage. Hollywood dreams, red carpet scenes, glitter and glow, the secrets I know. Drama with flair, I serve it rare. I got the scoop, I got the proof. I know you can't wait, so come and escape and sip this tea. Sip with me, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling 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 and sipping this tea. It's your under degrees. Sip with me. I'll pour it hot, so hot. I'll pour it sweet, so sweet. Spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your under degree, feeling great, spilling tea. Have a seat and join me. Sip some tea, unwind with me. Let's grab a snack and talk some smack. I'm your girl, I got your back. I got the news, I got the views. I bet you can't wait, I know you can't wait to sip this tea. Sip this tea, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping 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 this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your under degree, shining bright, set the stage. Hollywood dreams, red carpet scenes, glitter and glow, the secrets I know. Drama with flair, I serve it rare. I got the scoop, I got the proof. I know you can't wait, so come and escape and sip this tea. Sip with me, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling 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 and sipping this tea.
What's going on, Diamond Gang? It's your girl Yolanda the Great, and I'm back. We got another war update, and I told y'all I was coming back last night. And today has been full of nonstop chaos, nonstop all day. I want to say shouts out to my subscribers, and if you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And shouts out to my moderators. I love y'all. Y'all do the damn thing. Y'all make it happen for your girl. Well, y'all know what we do. Without further ado, I'm going to get straight into the content. Today was insane. Trump was threatening to basically unalive everyone. He said to get rid of civilization in Iran, and it has gotten so bad to where they are looking to either impeach him or take the 25th Amendment route. So it's getting bad, and I have a feeling that they're going to try. There is a ceasefire, and it's a 2-week ceasefire. Right before I came on, Iran did agree. So we're going to see where this go. But you know, guys, how I do it. I started off with what I left off with. And when I left you guys last night, it was still up in the air. So I'm going to start it off from bright and early this morning, and then I'll take it up into today's date. Until this time today. So let me go ahead and pull my screen up, and we're going to get into it. And let me make it bigger. Hold on. Make it a little bigger. Here we go. Let's go, Diamond Gang. Let's go.
Most of you won't see this till the morning, but I want you all to know that Iran has responded to Trump's threats and has said that it is Trump who has about 20 hours to surrender to Iran, or his allies will be sent back into the Stone Age.
Now, Diamond Gang, this was late last night after I got off of the live stream. I didn't go to bed until 3 a.m. Let's go.
And Iran went and launched attacks on the Jubal industrial city and struck the SABIC petrochemical company. It's on fire. It's one of the largest petrol manufacturers.
So late last night, early morning, Iran struck a couple of different sites.
Refineries, chemical companies in Saudi Arabia. Iran knocked out 2 power plants in Kuwait and 2 desalination plants there. Kuwait does not import any water. They rely on it entirely from the desalination plants. They hit the fuel tanks at the Kuwait International Airport, and they struck the Ali Al Salam Air Base, injuring 15 American soldiers.
Iran was not playing last night.
IRGC Naval Command has said the Strait of Hormuz will never return to its normal state, and they will now control it solely. So Trump's threatened to blow up bridges, civilian infrastructure like desalination plants, power plants, and they're both doing this back and forth now.
Diamond Gang, right now, they are in a panic. They are in a panic because they believe that he may be impeached.
The people that are going to be affected are the civilians. And if this continues, these areas, the Middle East, will be uninhabitable.
23 years ago, we had the same issue with Iraq, and we learned how that played out. Exactly. Let's go.
Habitable.
Diamond Gang, please just hit the like on the way in. Please and thank you.
For nothing else, just because of the water situation alone. And if Trump moves to strike a nuclear power plant, it could totally make the entire area uninhabitable for years and years and years. We don't even know how long, because of nuclear fallout.
That part, Michael, how are you? You said they didn't learn. Exactly. I got so much information for you guys tonight. I was up until 3 a.m. okay, today. And then I got right back up and I started collecting information. Gang, this is insane. I mean, the Republicans, some of them are turning their back on Trump right now. They are looking to either go to route 25th Amendment or impeachment. Let's go, Diamond Gang.
If you thought gas was high now, it's cheap. It's going to get a lot worse. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Like, share, spread the word. Follow, subscribe, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
We have some news right now. Articles of impeachment have been announced for Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. The first articles of impeachment.
Now, Diamond Gang, first they went after Pete. Then they went after Trump. As the threats got worse during the day, that's when they said, we got to do something.
Announced since the start of the war in Iran. The Congressman Yasmin Ansari this evening has announced articles of impeachment will be filed momentarily against Hegseth related to his war crimes, considering the bombing of the all-girls school in southern Iran, along with any other targeting of civilian infrastructure, along with the fact that Hegseth has drawn America into war without getting adequate approval from Congress in violation of the United States Constitution. These articles of impeachment will be filed, and well, we'll see if
they are going after Trump and they're going after Pete Hegseth.
Successful in a Republican-controlled House and Senate, they likely won't get anywhere, but in a Democratic-controlled Congress after November, things could very well change. Congresswoman Ansari is notable for filing these articles as she is one of only 2 Iranian-American members of Congress, and she knows the region and she knows Iran better than pretty much anyone else in Capitol Hill. Spread the word, follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need.
If you just coming in, we are starting out with last night, and then we're going to go through the events of how it happened and how they came to agree with the 2-week ceasefire. Let's go, Diamond Gang.
He is now threatening violence against innocent civilians because he's unable to get what he wants militarily. And we have a name for people who use violence against innocent people because because they're too weak to get what they want militarily.
Diamond Gang, Trump folded. He folded. Iran got some of what they were asking for, and I got it. So we're going to go over that. They got it. They're going to control the straits of Hormuz. Ooh, all of this for nothing. Let's go.
We call them terrorists.
President of the United States posted to Truth Social, I'm sure you have seen by now, with an F-bomb and a quote, praise be to Allah. Now compare that to another president who led America through a war, Abraham Lincoln's second inaugural, ending with these words, with malice towards none, with charity for all. It's quite a stark difference, which brings us to a part of the Constitution most Americans have never had reason to think about. Section 4 of the 25th Amendment, which says the vice president and a majority of the cabinet decide the president is unable to do the job.
Listen, Diamond Gang, Vance is, I can't remember where he is, but he's out of the country. He's meeting with some politicians in another country. He went to call Trump, and guess what? Trump put him on ignore, didn't even answer the phone for Vance. They are scared. They're nervous.
They can notify Congress, and the vice president takes over as acting president immediately. It has never been used in American history before, and it's an extremely high bar to get there. But Democratic Senator Chris Murphy posted this online, quote, if I were in Trump's cabinet, I would spend Easter calling constitutional lawyers about the 25th Amendment. And our next guest writes this, quote, I wonder very much what the next few days will bring, because this is looking like basically a president who is losing it, and unfortunately losing it in a way that can really make the world.
I don't know who calmed him down. I don't know who had conversations, but I'm telling you guys, this once he started getting nervous about the impeachment, things changed quickly.
A much worse place very fast.
Okay, first thing to say is that these 2 posts and some other things that Trump has said in interviews and in the last few days, they are completely unhinged. They are, before we get into his mental state, let's just say that he is now threatening violence against innocent civilians because he's unable to get what he wants militarily. And we have a name for people who use violence against innocent people because because they're too weak to get what they want militarily. We call them terrorists.
That part, terrorists. That was terrorist behavior.
So, I've been looking at the definitions, ICE's definition of terrorism, and what the President of the United States has been saying the past couple of days really fits the definition of terrorism as his own officials write it down. So this is horrifying.
Can Congress invoke the 25th Amendment and remove Donald Trump?
Pay attention. I specifically got this part so you guys can understand what powers Congress have.
Answer is no. I've gotten this question numerous times today. The 25th Amendment does not give Congress the power to remove the president. To invoke the 25th Amendment, it is the vice president and the Trump cabinet that would have to turn on the president to remove him from office. Now, Congress has a different avenue. It's called impeachment. Congress can impeach, and then the Senate can remove a president. That doesn't happen in an instant. The 25th Amendment can happen quickly. Impeachment does not. Well, there are a lot of people saying and asking me, well, why can't Congress just invoke the 25th Amendment? Because that's not what the 25th Amendment allows. It actually doesn't give Congress any power. So Congress has the power to impeach and remove. The president's cabinet and the vice president, J.D. Vance, have the power to invoke the 25th. So you're actually going to see a lot of members of Congress and people calling for the 25th Amendment today, knowing very well that Vice President Vance won't turn on Trump, when in reality...
But guess what? They went to plan B and started the impeachment process. Let's go, Diamond Gang. I got it all. Hit the like, please, and thank you. I'm not asking for a cash app, super chat, super sticker. I'm just asking for a like. It's free. Let's go, Diamond Gang.
The call should be impeachment because that's what they actually have the power to do rather than 25th Amendment. Spread the word, follow for more. We have some big news this evening. Pete Hegseth's press conference tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. has been canceled, according to AL Monitor. There's no reason given, but it comes on the same day that Donald Trump has given Iran a deadline.
He made it. He's there. He's there. Like I told you guys, I went from last night and then I'll roll it to the current events of today. He's there. He called Trump and Trump put him on ignore.
Either agree to his terms or face bombing that'll take Iran back to the Stone Age. That's what Trump has been threatening, war crimes in real time on civilian infrastructure. Hegseth's press conference in the morning has been canceled. It also comes as there is an increased troop buildup tonight in the Middle East, an American troop buildup. Senator Tom Cotton has confirmed that today, the men and women of Arkansas's 142nd Field Artillery Brigade have departed for the Middle East. This is a very
Diamond Gang, he was amping up for boots on the ground. He was amping up until he heard impeachment.
serious situation that is getting even more serious with each passing minute. And there's no reason given why the Secretary of Defense's press conference would...
He talked all that mess and did all that threatening just to give Iran the reins. Like, they control the straits. That is part of the ceasefire deal. They're going to control the straits.
What she likes to do has been canceled last minute. Spread the word. Subscribe to my Substack, link in bio to support. Follow along for more.
We're just hours away from President Trump's deadline to Iran. He's telling Iran's regime to reopen the Strait of Hormuz or face mass destruction, including all of the country's bridges and power plants.
They want us to keep bombing.
As Pakistan put it together, they did a last-ditch effort and put it together. And Iran got most of what they were asking for.
As the clock ticks down to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, President Trump's threats are getting more specific.
Every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock. Every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again.
Trump.
Did y'all hear this? He's brazen, like he just don't care.
Was asked repeatedly Monday whether such attacks on civilian infrastructure would constitute a war crime. He insisted the Iranian people get it.
They would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranian...
Let me tell you something, gang. The women and the children were like chains, hand in hand, standing on every bridge, every infrastructure. I'm going to show you that. I made sure to get clips of that. This is what he's saying is a lie. They were standing chained, hand in hand.
And we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing.
The war was also on his mind at the annual White House Easter egg roll.
I don't think it gets much more hostile than Iran.
Flanked by the Easter Bunny and the First Lady, Trump rejected a 45-day ceasefire proposed by other countries in the region.
The only one that's going to set a ceasefire is me. I haven't set any ceasefire.
Despite his tough talk, Trump said he believes the Iranians are negotiating in good faith, though he claimed the talks have been hampered by the
He thought those threats were going to work, and it didn't. And guess what? Right before they made the agreement, we bombed them. We bombed them.
destruction caused by U.S. missiles.
We're communicating like they used to communicate 2,000 years ago with children, bringing a note back and forth. They have no communication.
With gas prices surging and his poll numbers sagging, Trump acknowledged there is pressure on him to wrap up this war.
Unfortunately, the American people would like to see us come home. If it were up to me, I'd take the oil, I'd keep the oil, and would make plenty of money.
At one point yesterday, Trump claimed that he could take out the entire country in one night if he wanted to. And then he added that night could be.
And it was ridiculous because Pete Hegseth backed that BS all the way.
Tonight, the president of Iran posted on X overnight, quote, over 14 million proud Iranians have, up until this moment, declared their readiness to sacrifice.
William, I see you and you ain't never lied. Let's go.
Sacrifice their lives in defense of Iran. I, too, have been, am, and will be a sacrifice for Iran.
This is breaking news. President Trump just released a statement saying a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again.
Diamond Gang, please and thank you. Can you please hit the like for me? It takes me a while. I stayed up all day watching this, angry as I don't know what. I'm not asking for a super chat, super sticker, or a cash app. Just a simple like, Diamond Gang.
I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, we're different.
He said a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. This is insanity, Diamond Gang.
Smarter and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran.
We have breaking Iran news right now. The American president is issuing a threat to commit a mass.
And right now, he's sitting scared, him and his cabinet, scared that he's going to be impeached. He's in fear.
Massive war crime in Iran tonight. He is saying now that a whole civilization, referring to Iran, will die tonight, never to be brought back again. He says he doesn't want it to happen, but it probably will. He says, who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. This is a threat to wipe out the Iranian population. That means civilians, political leaders, military leaders. It doesn't seem like he's distinguishing anyone. Women, children, doesn't seem to matter because he says a whole civilization will die tonight. That is a war crime. That is a war crime.
Late last night when I got off, Iran bombed several petroleum stations over there in Israel. They were highly upset, but they were ready.
I'll have more updates for you soon. Subscribe to my Substack, link in bio to support my work. It's going to be a long day.
So President Trump just issued a threat saying that a whole civilization will die tonight if the Iranian leadership does not accept current U.S. demands. So this was a post on Truth Social just a few moments ago.
Let me ask you guys a question. How do you feel about this? If you are okay with this type of rhetoric, put a 1 in the chat. If you're totally against it, put a 2 in the chat. He put a nasty stain on the U.S. He has.
Go, quote, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, we're different, smarter, and less."
Okay, I see some twos. I see a lot of twos in the chat. So you guys are cool with this type of rhetoric. Okay. Now, twos is if you're okay with him saying this type of stuff. Oh, no, sorry. I apologize. I got it mixed up. I said 1 if you're okay with it, 2 if you're not. Sorry. I got a lot of twos in the chat. I didn't think so, Diamond Gang. I didn't think you were okay with this.
Radicalized minds prevail. Maybe something revolutionary can happen. Who knows? We'll find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long, complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. Look, if we saw this statement from any other leader around the world saying that our military campaign that is set to begin in the coming hours will lead to the death of an entire...
For the people that's just coming in, they are working to impeach not only Trump, but Pete Hegseth. They started with Pete first. This morning, they announced it. Let's go. If you missed it.
Civilization, we would say that's absurd. That is completely unacceptable. And we would probably use the term genocide to describe the way that they're talking about that military campaign. I have no doubt that this will be brushed aside.
That part, genocide.
Is just a negotiating tactic, but there's no place where that's acceptable. The threat of wiping an entire civilization off the face of the earth is not who we are. It's not how we operate as a country. It's not how we operate.
I'm telling you guys, he's not getting away with this one. He's not.
As a military, but we're about 12 hours out now from President Trump's deadline to Iran. We'll see if there's any sort of follow through there. Or if this is another kick the can down the road like we've seen 6 or 7 times already to this point.
We have breaking developments this morning. Marjorie Taylor Greene, former Republican Congresswoman, has now called for the 25th Amendment following Donald Trump's statement where
she was a diehard Trump fanatic. Not anymore.
Says a whole civilization will die tonight, essentially threatening to exterminate the Iranian population, men, women, children, civilians, non-civilians alike. It comes as Iran is now responding to this threat from Donald Trump. The IRGC says self-restraint is over. Our response will now be carried out without any consideration, depriving the United States and its allies of oil and gas.
And if you just coming in, and I'm going to keep saying this throughout the live stream, now it's a 2-week ceasefire with Iran getting most of what they asked for. They will be in control of the straits. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to charge. You know what I mean? I have no idea, but they're running it.
For years, the United States Army crosses red lines. Our response will exceed the region's boundaries. Right now, Iranian state TV is saying that negotiations between the United States and Iran have essentially been frozen as a result of Donald Trump's statement this morning. It has had the opposite effect of moving the sides closer to a deal and instead freezing all negotiations. We are now just about 11 hours or so away from Donald Trump's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time deadline.
Once he did this and he threw this threat out, Iran, they refused to talk to him. They cut all ties of communication. No more notes. Pakistan did this. They did this. They put this 2-week ceasefire together. Let's go.
Have more updates for you very soon. Spread the word. Subscribe to my Substack link in bio to support. Follow along for more.
The president was talking himself into it in the briefing room yesterday.
Listen to this. Listen to this. He said the president was talking himself into it, pumping himself up. Diamond Gang, please, 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 please hit the like for your girl. Please and thank you. Get me to 100 likes.
He said the Iranians, the civilians in Iran, not the leadership, the civilians in Iran, for whom this war is putatively fought on behalf of, want the United States and Israel to keep bombing them more. That's the president talking himself into this, also saying that they could withstand the hardship that would be inflicted by destruction of most of the infrastructure of that country, supporting 90 million.
This is insanity. Insanity.
People. That is the president in full public view talking himself into this. And there's plenty of reporting here at CBS and among other news outlets that the Israelis and the United States are expanding the array of targets presented to the president as options for this particular mission.
So the markets are nervous. They are not trading aggressively down, but they are taking this threat seriously. That's not one or the only indicator, but it's one indicator of how the global economy is viewing all this, Gail. And if there is one restraining mechanism on all this, it's not the polling data in the United States, but the economic catastrophe globally that might come from a set of strikes like this is the one restraining mechanism on the president. That's the one thing that he's always been hesitant to play with because he considers it actual economic fire for
definitely economic fire. It would have, I mean, globally,
the globe and for the United States. So that is a backdrop here, but you've got to take the president's rhetoric and his intent rather seriously.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's very unsettling.
That part. And he didn't think that everyone was going to take him serious because this is just Trump being Trump. No, not this time. They was on his behind.
To be honest, quite frightening. But this deadline has been delayed before. What happens if President Trump delays again? And do you think that's likely?
I don't know if it's likely or not, Gail, but again, you can look at the president's rhetoric and find ways in which he could do this. The president said regime change has already been accomplished and that these new leaders, we don't know who they are, he never says who they are more reasonable, smarter, and sharper, that he could create a deal. And if he
I told you guys this, he's not talking to nobody directly. Nobody. He had conversations with the president of Iran, and he has no power to broker any type of peace deals.
Creates a deal, even if it's just temporary, the world would relax. But until there's a full ceasefire and an end of all hostilities, no one will relax fully here in Washington or in any global capital.
Major news as the price of oil has surged to over $116 a barrel. That's 3% just overnight as the reports are coming in that the U.S. has bombed Iran's Karg Island, their main oil export.
Right before the deal, we started bombing them.
Facility. This is where the majority of the country's oil is exported from. Now, the United States is saying they only bombed military targets on the island, not the oil. They bombed their mines, and that is what they were saying is targeted. Now, that's what we're hearing right now, but if that oil gets cut off there, that's even more oil cut off from the entire supply of the Middle East, which is causing this rapid surge in oil prices. And this may signal,
baby, that 25th Amendment and the sounds of impeachment talked Trump right off the ledge. Please believe me, just watch.
A larger operation about to take place on Karg Island and perhaps the entire strait. This is what many suspect is about to happen, including Iran. They've already sent out a notice to everyone in the country to get prepared for major invasion by the United States and Israel.
And again, guess how they got prepared? Women and children, little children, hand in hand on every bridge, on every infrastructure.
So maybe Trump is going to make good on what he said yesterday, that they should just go in and take the oil. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Like, share, spread the word, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
We could be in the most consequential hours of this war now. 4 a.m. Gulf time Wednesday morning is President Trump's deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz or face what he is calling the complete demolition of the country's power plants, bridges, and energy infrastructure. Most importantly, though,
Please, Diamond Gang, could you get those likes up? Please. I see my mods asking for those likes. Please, 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 and thank you. We got 3 videos to go through. I'm taking you guys from the beginning to just about 8 p.m. East Coast time on what happened, step by step. And it has taken me all day to put this together.
A step back. At the White House press briefing overnight, Trump also said it's highly unlikely that he will move his deadline again, which for markets lowers the risk that this could be another taco moment. Here's the president speaking earlier.
We have a plan.
Not only was it a taco moment, but Iran got what they wanted, which was control of the straits, control of the oil.
And because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete
This is the definition and the example of when you thought you was the toughest person, the toughest man in the room. He folded.
demolition by 12 o'clock, and it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen.
Trump did say the talks with Iran were going well and that he has an active and willing participant on the other side. But remember, Iran has also consistently denied any direct negotiations are taking place, calling Washington's position one.
And Diamond Gang, I'm happy he folded because this is something that I was totally against. But guess what? I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Shouts out to Pakistan. They put this together.
One-sided and unreasonable. In the last 24 hours, Tehran also submitted its own counter-proposal through Pakistani mediators demanding a permanent end to the war, a protocol for safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz, and the lifting of all sanctions. President Trump looked at that counter-proposal and said it wasn't good enough. What's also interesting,
Christy, if bombs are dropping tonight, they weren't supposed to, and all the way up until about 8:30 East Coast time, they weren't.
Interesting right now is that markets aren't necessarily pricing de-escalation either. Pull up the price of oil, because if a deal was close, you would have expected oil prices to sell down by now, and that hasn't happened. Local benchmarks here also trading premium to Brent and WTI, which
Let's pay close attention to the markets within the next couple of days. You guys know I go live every day. I'm going to make sure I pay attention.
They're both holding at around this $110 a barrel handle. And in fact, some Wall Street desks are still modeling a path to $200 a barrel if this conflict runs on. So the question markets are asking this morning is, will there be a deal before 4 a.m. local time tomorrow, or will Wednesday morning change everything for this conflict?
We have breaking Iran news as Trump threatens to exterminate the Iranian population. U.S. officials privately are describing Trump as a bloodthirsty mad dog who is allegedly going around asking advisors whether he can call the day he blows up bridges and roads. And
just like King's Day, this is some sick stuff.
Infrastructure in Iran, quote, Infrastructure Day. This, according to Axios' new reporting, it comes as Trump is threatening to
This is pure narcissistic behaviors. Anytime that you are threatening to unalive children, men, women, and then want to have a day named after, it's just sick. It's sick.
Destroy an entire civilization tonight in Iran. Congress, meanwhile, has remained relatively silent. Congress isn't doing anything about it, and doesn't seem as though they're going to do anything about it right now. You have many calls for the 25th Amendment, but not much action happening right now. Remember, Congress isn't the one that does the 25th Amendment. That is Trump's cabinet.
Diamond Gang, people were so impatient, but they got it together. Congress got it together. They went after Pete first and then Trump.
Would have to turn on him. We're not there yet. And now, according to Reuters, Iran has cut off all direct and indirect communication with the United States negotiation team. All signs, at least right now, point to mass casualties and massacre tonight. We'll see if Trump follows through with it or if he...
Once he said that, they were done. They cut off all ties. All ties. No more messages.
Backs down again. Spread the word. Follow for more.
Right, so following President Trump's threat earlier today to kill an entire civilization in Iran, the Iranian leadership has cut off all direct and indirect communications with the United States. They are no longer sending messages through intermediaries. Talks about any sort of ceasefire are done. That's according to a new report in Reuters. Now, Iran, for their part, following President Trump's threat a couple days ago of, quote, open the effing strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell, praise be to Allah. Following that threat, the IRGC put out...
If this was any other president, the entire country would have been in an uproar.
Out a statement saying that they had been restrained in what they were targeting in neighboring countries in the Gulf. if the United States carries through on these threats from President Trump, they're going to expand their target set to a number of other areas throughout the Middle East that will take years to rebuild, talking about oil and civilian infrastructure there. We've already started to see this to a degree. In fact, the Qatar foreign minister just today said, quote, "We are close to the point where the situation in the region could spiral out of control." And nobody's really stopped, for what it's worth. There's not been a ceasefire. There's been to a degree. That part, because Iran, when I got off this live last night, they did a number. They hit about 5 targets, y'all. Agree a reduction in strikes a little bit, but the U.S. and Israel have continued carrying out strikes inside of Iran. Just in recent days, we've seen a number of bridges, rail lines, factories, and universities that have been hit by the U.S. and Israel. And Iran has continued their targeting of oil infrastructure throughout the region. Just last night, Iran, pretty significant drone and missile attack targeting the SA. Bingo, drone and missile attack. Listen to everything that Iran hit. They hit a lot of targets, petroleum. BIC plant in Jubail, which according to the AFP is home to one of the world's largest industrial cities where gas or steel, gasoline, petrochemicals, lubricating oil, and chemical fertilizers are produced. So civilian targets have been getting hit since day one. So that's nothing new, and that didn't stop. What it looks like right now is if the United States carries through with the threats from President Trump made over the course of the last couple of days and hits Iran heavily in a way that we've never seen in the next, it would be about 10 to 11 hours. Iran says that then their restrictions are off and they're going to start doing similar damage across the Middle East. So I'm kind of on board with the Qatari foreign minister. It was a wild day. Both sides amped up. Here saying we're close to the point where the situation in the region could spiral out of control.
We have some news right now. Some of the most hardline Republicans in Congress are now starting to speak out against Donald Trump's threat to exterminate.
This is what started Trump's fear.
The Iranian people, saying that they hope he doesn't follow through with it. Here's Senator Ron Johnson, who's a key Trump ally, quote, "I am hoping and praying that President Trump that this really is bluster. I do not want to see us blowing up civilian infrastructure. I do not want to see that. We are not at war with the Iranian people. We are trying to liberate them." It comes as Donald Trump told Fox News within the past hour that the 8 p.m. deadline is firm, that if no negotiations continue, bombing will happen. An attack like they've, quote, never seen before will happen.
He did not think he was going to get this response. He didn't.
And ahead of tonight's deadline, the State Department has issued now an advisory for all Americans in Bahrain, telling them that the U.S. Embassy has directed all government employees to shelter in place. Significant things happening right now. I'll have more updates for you soon. As always, follow along for all the news you need.
And Iran said if that's the case and it would have went down, they were going to hit any U.S. facility that was over there. That was their threat.
Know about.
You asked about Carg Island. My understanding, having talked to Pete and General Kane about this, is that we were going to strike some military targets on Carg Island. I believe we have done so. The president's deadline has been.
And he didn't say too much of anything, but let's listen, Diamond Gang.
Followed by us and everybody else. And he said very clearly, we're not going to strike energy and infrastructure targets until the Iranians either make a proposal that we can get behind or don't make a proposal. But he's given them until Tuesday at 8 o'clock.
Diamond Gang, I could see Trump turning on him. Because if they try to go through with the impeachment move, he's up next. He's up next. So right now, he is Trump's competition.
So I don't think the news on Carg Island represents a change in strategy.
If you guys notice, Vance has been very quiet during this war. We've seen him very little. Pay attention.
Strategy or represents any change from the President of the United States. He continues to say the deadline is 8 o'clock. And the deadline is for what? Fundamentally, what Iran is trying to do, because they've been defeated militarily, is they're trying to extract as much economic pain on the world as possible.
No, they haven't. They've been getting help from Russia. And as far as their stockpile, they were at 50% 2 days ago.
possible. And the President of the United States is a man who recognizes leverage, that if the Iranians want to exact a certain amount of pain, the United States has the ability to exact much, much greater pain. The president doesn't want to do that. I don't want to do that. That's why we're negotiating so aggressively. But fundamentally, the ball is in the Iranians' court. Now, I think the president has talked about this. One thing I will say is
Diamond Gang, it was definitely in their court because guess what? They got control of the straits.
That the Iranians were not the fastest negotiators before the war started, and they are certainly not the fastest negotiators now. So we recognize there's some delay sometimes in transmitting messages.
Did y'all hear that? Why would they? And they're getting constant threats. Why would they be quick to negotiate when they were in the 6 rounds of negotiation and offered to dilute that uranium and Israel hit them and then we followed suit? Why would they? They're proceeding with caution.
Messages from one person to another, but we feel confident that we can get a response, whether it's positive or negative. We're going to get a response from the Iranians by 8 o'clock tonight. I hope they make the right response, because what we really want is we want a world where oil and gas is flowing freely, where people can afford to heat their homes and cool their homes.
Come on, Diamond Gang, please. I'm at 58 likes. I got over 200 people in the room. Please and thank you. Can you get me to 100 likes, please?
Where people can afford to transport themselves to work. That's not going to happen if the Iranians are engaged in acts of economic terrorism. So they've got to know we've got tools in our toolkit that we.
Here's the thing. We were doing the same thing. Terrorism.
So far haven't decided to use. The President of the United States can decide to use them, and he will decide to use them if the Iranians don't change their course of conduct.
All right, so we have some updates about Iran and Donald Trump. So Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois has become the first governor to come out and call for the 25th Amendment for the president. Now, I've said in other videos that only the vice president and the cabinet can do that, not Congress, not any governor, but you have more people speaking up. You also have multiple Democratic lawmakers now coming out and saying they support impeachment, which they had not done before. Before, it was just strongly worded statements about their disapproval. Now, many are coming out and saying that they support removing the president from office.
That part. At first, they said they disapproved. Now, they're looking to impeach him. This is what got him in a panic. And it's going to happen.
Office, whether via impeachment or 25th Amendment. But once again, to impeach, you need some Republican support, which they don't have right now. That also includes Article 2, Section 4, which is the impeachment clause. Now, Iran is saying.
But Diamond Gang, they get it later on during the day, and I will show you. Stick around.
Saying that if the United States were to go through on Trump's threats, they would plunge the Middle.
Thanks for the likes, gang. I'm up to 67 likes. Thank you. Thank you. I need 100. Thanks.
East into complete darkness. That's according to Reuters' statement from Iranian officials. We're less than 8 hours away from Trump's self-imposed 8 p.m. Eastern time deadline. He has not moved on from it. He is still focused on that deadline. So we'll see what happens. I'll have more updates for you soon. Spread the word. Follow for more.
How do we 25th Amendment is asked?
The problem is to get the 25th Amendment is harder than impeachment. You have to get 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate.
Listen, he said, how do we 25th Amendment his ASS?
What do we do?
Tackle Trump and pretend, let him pretend he's president and publicly report that he's going through a health issue and Vance take over. It literally needs to be something like that. It's that bad.
One of Trump's former top allies, Tucker Carlson, is now saying that White House officials should refuse orders if Trump tries to nuke Iran. Here's what.
Guess what, Diamond Gang? They did. They did.
He said on his podcast, if you work in the White House or in the U.S. military, it's time to say no, absolutely not, and say it directly to the president. Then he points out the obvious contradiction that we're supposed to be liberating the people of Iran from their religious leader for their benefit, but now Trump is threatening to take all of their lives. Going on to say those people who are in direct contact with the president need to say, no, I'll resign. I'll do whatever I can legally do to stop this because this is insane. And if given the order, I'm not caring.
Baby, they did, and I got it. So a lot of people spoke out today.
Carrying it out. Figure out the codes on the nuclear football yourself, because everything hangs in the balance right now. This is not hysteria. It's 100% real. I wish this was possible, but unfortunately, when every U.S. president takes office, they're given what's called the biscuit, a card containing authorization codes, and they have immediate 24/7 access to the nuclear football
carried by military aid. But even some of Trump's top allies like Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones are speaking out against him, calling for the 25th Amendment to be invoked. That's how bad things are.
If the United States Congress has any life left in it, every member of Congress and senator must be calling for Trump's removal today based on the 25th Amendment. He is threatening the entire destruction of a civilization. He is calling.
And again, Diamond Gang, Congress can impeach, but they cannot invoke the 25th Amendment. They can't.
Iranians animals. He is showing a total disregard for the humanity of people in Iran, in Gaza, in Cuba. This is a moral crime. It is a war crime. We need to be demanding that Congress convene today, and we need to be invoking the 25th.
Listen, if he would have went through with that, not only would our enemies, but our allies would have literally just been done with him.
Fifth Amendment.
This president is known for posting hyperbolic messages online, but even by his standards, this was eye-opening. He said a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. Now, this kind of language was a clear escalation about what might happen if Iran doesn't cut a deal and reopen the Strait of Hormuz by 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight. And we've asked the White House what.
Let me ask y'all a question, Diamond Gang. Do you think that this ceasefire will truly last the full 2 weeks? I don't. And guess why? I believe Israel is going to do something like they did before. They're going to do it. They're going to keep this going. That is not their military objective. Their military objective is to unalive every leader and to get rid of their military.
What exactly Trump means by an entire civilization might die. Remember, this is a president who has already courted global controversy by suggesting that he is going to bomb all of Iran's power plants and bridges. In a new interview, Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, a Republican, longtime supporter of President Trump, said that he hopes and prays that Trump is just blustering here because he says you shouldn't be targeting civilian infrastructure. But Vice President J.D. Vance, who's traveling in Hungary, says,
Richard, you're right. This involuntary removal process requires a written declaration submitted in It's not easy in Congress, transferring power to the vice president immediately as acting president. That is a fact. Thank you, Richard.
The president is just a master of using leverage, that he understands leverage and how to best utilize it. Remember, this is a president who is also eager to show that he means business this time after walking away from a couple of other deadlines.
Sorry, William. Thank you. Is it William? No, Mac. Thank you for the gift. I thought I seen William too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mac. Oh, it's William. Okay. It's in the beginning. Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Earlier in the war.
If you want to know how Iran is responding to Donald Trump's threats about.
Now listen to this. They were not scared. That's all I'm gonna say.
War crimes tonight? Well, here you go. Here's what the embassy in Bulgaria is
Did you mean Epstein time? This is what they said.
saying. Here's what the Iranian embassy
A 79-year-old pedo idiot.
in South Africa, what they're saying, calling Donald Trump, as you can see, a 79-year-old idiot. And here's the embassy in Turkey. Alexander burned it, the Mongols ravaged it, history tested it, Iran is still here, a psychopath's threat won't end what time couldn't. We're now about 5 hours or so away from Donald Trump's self-imposed 8 p.m. deadline. Doesn't look like negotiations are going really anywhere, although they continue on and off, just depending on who you ask. Meanwhile, the price of Brent crude oil has hit an all-time high, over $144 a barrel for Brent crude oil. Price of a barrel of oil rising, which means your gas prices are
We're going to pay attention to the markets first thing tomorrow morning.
Going to be rising soon to even more. In some places, over $6 a gallon already. So that's where things stand right now. We'll see what happens next. Spread the word. Full updates on my Substack, linked in bio. Subscribe for free. Follow along for more.
Today, the United States stands at a crossroad. It is time to remove Donald Trump from the presidency.
This is when things started getting a little serious around this time of the day. Now, once she speaks, we're going to get into what Iran had to say And then we will get into the ceasefire agreement. Let's go, Diamond Gang.
This morning, the President of the United States used his social media platform to threaten to wipe a civilization from the face of the planet. Let us be clear. Not only is this activity unbefitting a president of the United States, but it is the threat of actual crimes against humanity and war crimes under international law. And it is clear that Donald Trump is no longer, nor has he ever been, fit to serve as president of this United States.
Diamond Gang, even those who support Trump, do you think that he is still fit? If you think that this man is still fit, and I want you to be so honest, all opinions will be respected. Please, chat, do not disrespect those that speak out that still support Trump. If you think that he is fit to still run this country, put a 1 in my chat. If you think not, put a 2 in the chat. I want you guys to be honest. It's safe over here. It's safe. Let's go.
And as the commander-in-chief of our military. Now, there are a number of tools that can be used to remove him from the presidency, but we cannot do it alone. We need our colleagues across the aisle, the Republicans who control the White House, the cabinet.
I see a lot of 2s, and you're right. Dementia is real. Okay. A lot of people said no. Bye. They said bye. Okay. I just wanted to know, because there are still people that support this man and believe in his mission. Okay, we got somebody said Donald Trump is the greatest president we've ever had. Okay. He's off the chain now.
Senate and the House to find the courage and the backbone to act not only for the humanity of this planet, but for the national security and well-being of this country. And so that is why I am calling for the invocation of the 25th Amendment by the cabinet, why I am calling for the impeachment by Congress, and why I am calling for the passage of a war powers resolution in Congress to stop this president right now.
This is where it got serious and Trump got scared. That's why there's a 2-week ceasefire. They are in the White House in a panic. Stay tuned.
Now, it's important to understand that these tools are the tools that we have at our disposal to stop this president. It is what the Constitution allows us to do. In the case of the 25th Amendment, as was passed and ratified in 1967, Section 4 has never been utilized in.
Yes, please and thank you, Diamond Gang. Can we get 26 more likes? Please, please, please. It's free and it helps a lot. I don't care about a cash out, super chat, super sticker. Just a like, baby.
The United States before, but it provides that the vice president and a majority of the cabinet can call for the president to no longer serve as president and for the vice president to step in and to act if he is incapacitated. Congress cannot do this on its own. This is an action that must be taken by a vice president and by the cabinet. And if the president contests that action.
Listen, she's telling you the steps, and I read this off to you guys yesterday and the day before that. Who think Vance is going to turn on him? Huh? Who? If you think JD Vance is going to turn on Trump, put Vance in the chat. I don't think he is, but you know.
Then Congress has to act by a 2/3 vote in both chambers. And so while it is not a silver bullet for solving this issue at this moment, it is the most immediate action that could be taken to remove the president from the dangerous and life-threatening position that he is currently occupying. Now, Congress still must act. We must impeach this president. It is clear under our constitutional duty that he has committed high crimes and misdemeanors of manyfold. And so we must pursue impeachment. But the most immediate path to removal is the 25th Amendment. But that requires the cabinet to act.
Let me stop this. You said all you see is negative insults towards the commander in chief. Guess what? He insults us on a regular day. He embarrassed the shit out of us. So what's the problem? What is the problem? He is doing things that no other president would have been able to get away with. Let's go.
Act. And so we are calling on our Republican colleagues in the cabinet. We are calling on our Republican colleagues in the Congress to do the right thing for this country, for the American people, and for the safety and well-being of millions across this planet.
No, I'm not embarrassing myself. Not at all. Not at all. Your president is a liar. That's a fact. Who is insane and not mentally stable to be the chief in command.
Because this cannot stand. It is clear that he has become incapacitated and is not fit to serve as our president. And
don't get mad at me for bringing the truth. It is what it is. He's a liar. And if you lie, you steal. And if you steal, you what? KILL. That's it. That's all. And he's displayed all three of these actions. We know he lied. We know he steals because he's a felon. And we know he will KILL because he just threatened war crimes. That's a fact. That's a fact. Please, don't get beside yourself. All are welcome. And you can say what you want. You just can't be disrespectful in my chat. You will be removed. Don't disrespect nobody in my chat or me. There's a lot of people that's on right now. Just exit and go to the next live stream.
And as the commander in chief, and we must stop any potential crimes before they could happen. Now, in order to do any of this, it requires that our Republican colleagues step up and meet the moment for the American people. That means that the Speaker of the House and the leadership in the Senate must call us back into session in Washington, D.C. immediately. And it means that our colleagues must find the courage to act. This is the moment.
So for you diehard Trump supporters, strap up. Strap up.
History is watching. Do the right thing.
That Truth Social post from this morning, read it and then tell me what your reaction is to it.
A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back.
Let's hear what the people got to say.
Again.
I'd honestly say this is just like disgusting.
It sounds like typical Trump.
The first sentence, a whole civilization will die tonight. I take that as that.
If you lie, you'll steal. If you steal, you'll what? Let's go.
There's going to be a lot of loss of life. So I think right off rip with that first sentence, I don't necessarily agree with what Trump's saying.
It's ridiculous. Beyond ridiculous. If I swore, I'd tell you what I really think.
And then you continue to read, it kind of looks like he takes back what he's saying, that there's going to be a regime change, and that I take that as a lot of people won't die, but
the only regime change that happened was right here in the United States. They did a purge. Everything that he claimed that he went to this war or this excursion, nothing that he promised or what he said he was going to do has taken place. This was all for nothing. This is a war of choice. He had no proof.
I'd say it's extreme, especially from the president, to be saying something like that.
I cannot believe that this is our world. I can't believe that our president of the United States.
That part. I can't believe this is our world right now.
It believes he's some sort of supreme leader.
We will find out tonight one of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world.
The very same people that he's trying to condemn, he has become. Don't you see it? I'm going to say it again. The same people that he's trying to condemn, he has become.
47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran.
You saw right there, he said, it's the end of civilization. What do you think happens at 8 p.m. tonight?
I'm hoping it's just talk and nothing happens. But if it does happen, shame on us and shame on him.
I think it's actually rather terrifying. I mean, I would hate to think that we could start World War III, but I don't put it beyond the capabilities of him.
I have no idea, if I'm being completely honest. I hope that whatever does take place, it's for the best, for the most amount of people. That's what I would say.
Any other thoughts?
I'm scared.
We have some big news right now. The pressure the American public is putting on Congress
That part, I'm scared. That is insane.
seems to be moving the goalposts a little bit. Now over 50 members of Congress have come out in support of impeachment or 25th Amendment for the...
Let me put that back for the people that didn't hear that. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Didn't I tell y'all? Please hit the like. I need 11 more likes. Didn't I tell you guys by the time we got towards the closer to the time that they decided to do the 2-week ceasefire, that more people was going to support impeaching him, his own party?
If it does happen, shame on us and shame on him.
I think it's actually rather terrifying. I mean, I would hate to think that we could start World War III, but I don't put it beyond the capabilities of him.
I have no idea, if I'm being completely honest. I hope that whatever does take place, it's for the best, for the most amount of people. That's what I would say.
Any other thoughts?
I'm scared.
We have some big news right now. The pressure the American public is putting on Congress seems to be moving the goalposts a little bit. Now over 50 members of Congress have come out in support of impeachment or 25th Amendment.
My. This is how we got this 2-week ceasefire. They are in a panic. They first started with Pete. They are trying to impeach him. Pete Hegseth. They made the announcement first on Pete. And now it's Trump.
Amendment for the President of the United States. And I have the list for you. We've got AOC, Congresswoman DeGetti, Congresswoman Kamala Gardove, Mark Pocan, Summer Lee, Delia Ramirez, Sarah McBride, Yasmin Ansari, Ilhan Omar, Marjorie Taylor Greene, former, Rashida Tlaib, Seth Moulton, Melanie Stansbury, Ro Khanna, Maxwell Frost, Ayanna Pressley, Johnny Olszewski, Julie Johnson, Sarah Jacobs, Bonnie Watson Coleman, Latifah Simon, Robert Garcia, Shelley.
He went too far. He went way too damn far this time.
Pingree, Ed Markey, Sri Thanadar, Rob Menendez, April Delaney, Nakima Williams, Steve Cohn, Joaquin Castro, Betty McCollum, Seth Magaziner, Eric Swalwell, Bernie Sanders, Jill Takuda, Doris Matsui, Adriano Espaillat, Dan Goldman, Pramila Jayapal, Lori Trahan, Jimmy Gomez, Mark Desaulnier, I don't know if you pronounce his name, Valerie Fushi, Val Hoyle, Zoe Lofgren, Morgan McGarvey, Johanna Hayes, Jan Schakowsky, Christian Menefee, Scott Peters, and Hank Johnson. That's a lot more than before. Spread the word. Follow for more.
Today, the President of the United States again resorted to language that is not only deeply irresponsible.
Now we're going to hear from some of the leaders in Iran. Let's go, Diamond Gang.
But profoundly alarming, declaring that, quote, the whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back, unquote. It is regrettable and alarming that while in full view of international community, the President of the United States shamelessly and brazenly issues...
That part, shamelessly and brazen. This shit then got to his head.
To destroy all civilian infrastructure in Iran, including bridge, power plants, and energy facilities, by setting a deadline, and openly reveals this intent to commit war crimes and crime against humanity.
Now, this is the human chain at the bridges and the power plants in Iran. Look at this, y'all. See, these people are willing to lose their lives about what they believe in. This is insane. They were lined up. They were waiting for the moment with their flag.
What's happened to Iran's supreme leader? Iran's new supreme leader, Mushtarak.
Today was the first time I've heard about him in weeks. Y'all.
Khamenei is reportedly incapacitated and receiving medical treatment in the holy city of Qom, according to an intelligence assessment seen by The Times. A diplomatic memo understood to be based on American and Israeli intelligence says Khamenei is in a severe condition and unable to make decisions.
So he's still alive, but of course he can't make decisions.
Been seen or heard from since the war began, despite being chosen to succeed his father in early March. Since then, 2 statements attributed to him have been read on Iranian state television. An AI-produced video of the leader walking into a war room and analyzing a map of Israel's nuclear power plant in Nimona was released by the channel on Monday. But the lack of a recording of his voice adds weight to unverified reports that he remains in a critical condition. Iran has confirmed he was wounded in the same airstrike that killed his father, former leader Ali Khamenei, along with several family members. According to the memo, the elder Khamenei's body is being prepared for burial in Qom, the seat of Shia clerical power, known as the religious capital of the country. President Trump has claimed to be negotiating with other Iranian officials, but explicitly said he was not dealing with the supreme leader.
All right, gang, let me bring up my second video and we're going to get into it. I got 3. So we got a lot to go over.
In English, I would simply say, once again,
let me stop it real quick. This is the Pope speaking on the war, and he's going to speak in English.
What I said in the Urbi et Orbi message on Sunday, asking all people of goodwill to search always for peace and not violence, to reject war, especially a war which many people have said is an unjust war, which is continuing to escalate.
So many people is against this.
And which is not resolving anything. In fact, we have a worldwide economic...
It hasn't. It just made more problems.
Economic crisis, energy crisis, situation in the Middle East of great instability, which is only provoking more hatred throughout the world. So come back to the table, let's talk, let's look for solutions in a peaceful way, and let's remember especially the innocent, children, the elderly, the sick, so many people who have already become or will become victims of this continued warfare. To remind all that attacks on civilian...
And all he could say is, I don't want to do it. Like, what?
Infrastructure is against international law, but that it is...
Bingo. War crimes, international law.
Also a sign of the hatred, the division, the destruction the human being is capable of, and we all want to work for peace. People want peace. I would invite the citizens of all the countries involved to contact the authorities, political leaders, congressmen, to ask them, tell them to work for peace and to reject war always. Thank you very much.
Crucially, for some of Donald Trump's characteristically unwavering supporters, people...
Damage has already been done. That part. Because he said those words, there's no going back.
People who hung in there with him after January 6th, after COVID, This afternoon, some of those very same people, some of the loudest ones, are spending the final hours before Donald Trump's promised assault pleading with Donald Trump. The only way they know how, over the airwaves. Here's Trump loyalist Senator Ron Johnson.
I am hoping and praying that President Trump this really is bluster. I do not want to see us start blowing up.
I knew when this was started to happen and they got more people from Congress to move forward with the impeachment. I knew he was going taco.
Infrastructure. I do not want to see that. We are not at war with the Iranian people. You know, we are trying to liberate them.
So they're the Ron Johnsons, but they're also the Tucker Carlsons, conservatives, going so far as to publicly urge top officials at the Pentagon to consider refusing Donald Trump's orders should he
and some of them did, and I'm going to show you that tonight.
Advocate for the use of weapons of mass destruction.
It's about time. They were petrified of this man, scared to speak up.
Watch.
Unless somebody puts the brakes on right away, we're going to wind up in a place that we can't even imagine. Not just Iran, us and the rest of the world. And so that means, because this is obvious to anyone who's paying any attention, that if you work in the White House or in the U.S. military, now it's time to say no, absolutely not. And say it directly to the president, no. In case you're thinking about using some weapon of mass destruction against the population of Iran, in whose name we liberated Iran. We killed their religious leader for their benefit. Do you remember that? This was last month. Those people.
He all over the place with the missions, with the reasons, just
People who are in direct contact with the president need to say, no, I'll resign. I'll do whatever I can do legally to stop this because this is insane. And if given the order, I'm not carrying it out. Figure out the codes on the football yourself. Because everything hangs in the balance right now. This is not hysteria. This is 100% real.
This is not hysteria. This is 100% real. Quote from Tucker Carlson. Now, even if the situation doesn't rise to that level, and Americans of all political persuasions, and people around the world certainly are hoping that it does not, as we said, a lot of damage has already been done.
Are we facing a major stress test on our democracy tonight?
The answer to that, Antonia, is absolutely yes. No matter what happens tonight, I mean, there's a certain cliffhanger-like quality to what is going to happen or not happen tonight. But let's be clear, the words have already damaged Americans' standing.
And here's the thing, because there's a 2-week ceasefire, and like I said, Iran got majority of what they wanted, which was control of the straits, okay? Remember, we have thousands and thousands of soldiers over there that will be over there for quite some time. Remember that.
In the world. You know, let's speak directly to Republicans and to those who would view Ronald Reagan as the paragon. Ronald Reagan famously brought back the phrase, originally attributed to the Puritans, that America is a shining city on a hill. No matter what happens tonight, the president's the rhetoric is more than rhetoric. When you threaten the destruction of a whole civilization, that
he literally stained this country. Stained, an awful stain.
Meets the definition, not my definition, the Pentagon's definition of terrorism.
Major news here as the clock is ticking down to Trump's deadline for.
Do you guys understand? The president of the United States basically threatened to unalive an entire civilization. Terrorism. The same thing that we are fighting for. Again, the same people he condemns, he becomes. This is ridiculous.
Iran to come to an agreement, and it appears that Pakistan's prime minister is trying to broker some sort of deal.
I told y'all, shots out to Pakistan. They made this happen. They made this happen.
He is requesting a ceasefire from the United States and Israel for a period of 2 weeks in order for a full comprehensive peace plan to be negotiated, to give a chance for diplomacy, and in return is asking for Iran to open the Strait of.
And Trump did all that threatening just to fold. He folded.
Hormuz as a sign of good faith, and the White House is reporting that Trump is considering this. And now Trump has just said they are in heated negotiations right now. So as we approach this deadline, it appears things are moving on the side of diplomacy, apparently thanks to the Prime Minister of Pakistan, and that is Shehbaz Sharif.
Shouts out to Shehbaz Sharif. He made it happen, Diamond Gang.
So it appears Trump is open to this proposal. We have yet to hear what Iran thinks about this. So guys, who knows? Anything is anyone's guess at this point. Perhaps this deadline could get pushed back another 2 weeks and allow time for diplomacy to run its course. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Do you think we're going to see the end of a civilization or the deadline get pushed back? Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, spread the word, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you back here for the 4-1.
Again, if you're just coming in, I went back to last night and we're moving forward. So I did like a timeline, okay?
We have serious news right now. Strikes have begun. U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran, this time targeting the Iraq aluminum.
So this was right before they came up with the 2-week ceasefire, y'all. Let's go.
Facility in central Iran, according to Iranian state media, along with a petrochemical complex in Iran. This is images from Iran this evening. It comes as the Pope Leo, is coming out and condemning Donald Trump and his remark. Pope Leo.
Diamond Gang, you just heard it. Thank you, gang, for the likes. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Leo said in a statement, quote, "This is truly not acceptable. Here, there are certainly questions of international law, but even more than this, a question of morality for the good of people." He adds that war is, quote, "continuing to escalate and is not resolving anything, is only more provoking more hatred around the world. Attacks on civilian infrastructure," he says, "are against international law, but is also against sign of the hatred and division that we are capable of." I'll have more updates for you soon.
Listen, I hope this is a wake-up call for Trump. I really do. He got to get it together.
We have breaking news right now. Donald Trump has backed down. He has agreed to a 2-week ceasefire with Iran. In a new post to his Truth Social account, Donald Trump says that based on conversations he has had with the Pakistani Prime Minister, he has agreed to a complete, immediate, and total ceasefire contingent upon Iran reopening the Strait of Hormuz. It's a lengthy...
It's open, but they're controlling it. So we're going to see how this goes. And again, prior to this, they were charging $2 million for a ship to pass through. Hopefully, they're not doing this. I didn't get the details, but we'll figure it out.
Posts. He also says that Iran sent over a 10-point plan of negotiation that they're going to work through right now. But this comes 2 hours before his 8 p.m. deadline.
Now, Diamond Gang, remember, Trump had a 15-point plan. Iran they said no, and no, we're not doing it. So now guess what? Iran has the point plan, and they handed it to Trump. He totally folded. Let's go.
And some are saying that it is Taco Tuesday. Trump is backing down again from his threats, now suspending the bombing and attacks for a period of 2 complete weeks. So Donald Trump has agreed to a ceasefire. We're waiting for Iran's response, but we should have that momentarily. As always, I'll have more updates for you shortly, so make sure to subscribe to my Substack, link in bio to support my work. And
shouts out to We Beat You, Diamond Gang. Get over there, subscribe. He does war updates. He does Epstein files. He does a number of things. Brother, put your link in the chat. Nah. Oh, you just got off your live? Yeah, put your link in the chat, bro. Let's go, Diamond Gang.
Follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about.
Those threats are on hold for now because just moments ago, President Trump posted on Truth Social that because Iran has agreed to complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz, he agreed.
Listen, Diamond Gang, I'm not mad at this at all. I've been praying for this. I'm excited for this. Hopefully, he could tone it down and really negotiate. because, again, they were in the 6th round of negotiation. Iran said that they would dilute the uranium and sell it as something else. There was no reason, but because Trump pledged allegiance to Bibi, Israel, this is why we're in this now. Kushner, his son-in-law, convinced him to do this. Crazy. And I showed you guys, Kushner has a relationship with Bibi since he was a child. Bibi used to sleep in his bed, forcing him to sleep in the basement. Bibi went to school in the United States, in Philly, in Pennsylvania, where I am. So, yeah, let's go.
To suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. The president goes on to say that this will be a double-sided ceasefire. So with less than 2 hours left until that 8 p.m. deadline, the president announcing that for now, the attacks are...
And not only that, Trump's sons and Trump is making hella money off this war with those drones. By the way, they're making hella money. This is insanity.
On hold, and there will be more time to try to sort out a permanent deal. Tony.
Weijia Zhang with the breaking news from the White House tonight. Thank you very much.
Breaking news as Trump has found his office.
Diamond Gang, please do me a favor. I'm at 131. We got 306 in the building. Please get me to 200 likes. Please and thank you. Let's go.
Ramp. And guess what? 2 weeks. 2 more weeks. A ceasefire for 2 weeks. So we'll see if Iran accepts this, but Trump posted this on Truth Social. Based on conversations with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Field Marshal Asim Munir of Pakistan, and wherein they requested that I hold off the destructive force being sent tonight to Iran, and subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz, I agree to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be a double-sided ceasefire. The reason for doing so is that we have already met and exceeded all.
And what's so crazy, Diamond Gang, I just keep thinking, they never had control of the straits. So for them to be given the control of the straits, it's like, how did you guys come up with that one? This is crazy. Hell, Taco Tuesday for sure, with extra salsa and cheese, please, and a little bit of sour cream. Let's go.
All military objectives and are very far along with a definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. We received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate.
That's okay, Daniel. You allow. Trump is the greatest diplomatic dictator. Mega proud. Be proud, baby. But he tacoed out today, big time. And he gave them control of the straits. Let's go. I'm happy. Hey.
Negotiate. Almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the United States and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated. Guys.
That's right, William. Everybody put Taco Tuesday in the chat. Put Taco Tuesday. Put your tacos in the chat.
Wow. Huge change. So I guess we'll wait and see if Iran accepts this. And I guess happy Taco Tuesday. They're not going to be destroyed. Their civilization will continue for now. As always, let me know what you think about this in the comments. Like, share, spread the word, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you.
Yeah, bossy, put your tacos in the chat. Listen, Diamond Gang, do I believe that war is necessary? Absolutely, so that we can have our freedoms. But this was not. This was a war choice. And I'm going to believe that to the day I leave this earth.
See you back here for the 411.
We're just getting some breaking news here about the war. The president has just issued a Truth Social from the White House saying this: based on conversations with Prime Minister Sharif and Field Marshal Munir.
Meek bestie, you want a taco?
Pakistan, and wherein they requested that I hold off the destructive force being sent tonight to Iran and subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran, agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz. I agree to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be a double-sided ceasefire. The reason for doing so is that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives and our
Diamond Gang, gas better go down. Gas prices better go down. I'm on the market first thing tomorrow morning.
very far along with a definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. We received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the United States and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated.
Y'all hear that? So it seems like we're willing to, whatever they're asking for, and I don't have the specifics, but guess what? Your girl gonna go live tomorrow with some information because I'm gonna be watching this.
On behalf of the United States of America as president and also representing the countries of the Middle East, it is an honor to have this long-term problem close to resolution. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump.
We have breaking news coming into the newsroom. We are just over an hour out from President Trump's threatened deadline for Iran, and he has just
Get them troops out of there. That's what I want. Get them troops, some of those troops home to their families, to their children.
posted what he says an announcement that will delay that by 2 weeks and that he says will lead to a ceasefire. Let me read you what the president has said because it's been a matter of great foreign policy intrigue. In a lengthy new post, he says that he's had conversations with Pakistan as an intermediary and that he agrees to, quote, suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. He calls it a, quote, double-sided.
Michael, what you think? I just asked that question. Michael said, I bet Israel. Oh, yeah, no, it's Bibi is mad right now. He kicking the wall. Bibi is kicking the wall right now, punching the wall, going crazy.
Ceasefire. The president goes on to write that he has already met and exceeded military objectives and received a 10-point proposal from Iran that has been independently reported, some discussion of that. And he says now that he believes it's a workable basis on which to negotiate. He says that there's basically a kind of agreement between the U.S. and Iran that he claims is already in motion, but a, quote, 2-week period will allow the agreement.
Listen, Diamond Gang, I love this for us right now. I do.
To be finalized.
I think it's more clear than ever before, this concept of following, that you're not supposed to follow illegal orders. I have already indications that many targets that were recommended by the Secretary of Defense were rejected by CENTCOM.
There you go right here. Former general says there are reports that the military is refusing to bomb civilian targets. And I just told y'all that. I said that they did. They did. They refused to do it. That was another thing that had Trump thinking. The impeachment, the 25th Amendment, and then the military refusing to do what he's asking them to do. So he was backed into a corner. He had the taco. Let's go.
They were civilian targets. It is something where, again, I don't have firsthand knowledge, it's secondhand knowledge, but I believe that people are already saying no to the hierarchy. The CENTCOM commander is walking a very thin line where he is trying to do the best he can to.
Daniel, I'm going to have to agree to disagree. It was illegal. It was. We were in a full-blown war, and he did not go to Congress. And the only reason why Congress did not step in, and I explained this to you guys 1,000 times, once they step in, they have to take the responsibility of the war, and they didn't want to do that. So let's go.
Implement military objectives as he understands them without getting fired is the best way to put it. In the same way that the Secretary of Defense has already fired several other senior Army officers during times of war, which is unprecedented, by the way, for no apparent reason. So I don't think the world needs to be concerned, and I'm not trying to dismiss
Hold on.
renegade.
Let me read this comment. I can't wait to get to y'all comments. Okay, so a different Michael said, listen, I voted for Trump. However, it's clearly gotten stuck and stupid. They all need to go. They are way over their heads. I agree. I think, yeah, most definitely Trump got way over his head on this one. Like when you condemn and become those same individuals that you condemn, that is just insane.
Discussion and this bizarre behavior of our president, but I don't think that anything substantial is going to happen tonight at 8 p.m. I believe that the answer will be no.
I want to just make sure I clearly understand. You are hearing secondhand that Pete Hegseth has ordered strikes that CENTCOM commanders have refused?
Has requested. The difference between requesting and ordering. In other words, the idea that infrastructure is being targeted. I think that one about the bridge, this is my personal opinion.
Listen, Diamond Gang, if you have any other topics that you would like to discuss, please let me know in the chat. I think now that we have this 2-week ceasefire, I'm going to take a break from this because it was getting to me. It was quite overwhelming.
That fell in the gray area, that it is not being used presently by civilians because it doesn't exist yet. It was under construction. And so therefore, perhaps that was one that was permitted. The idea of attacking bridges that are clearly, overwhelmingly for civilian use would be a war crime, and that the planners in CENTCOM would not permit that. That is what I am hearing, again, secondhand. So I believe that there are very subtle pushbacks that are already have been occurring to go after military targets. So it's almost like instead of this one, this is the target that you should be looking at. And so it's almost like these are not the droids you're looking for, using a Jedi mind trick. I hate to be quite so...
This is insane, y'all. Hit the like, please and thank you. Please and thank you. Please subscribe to the channel.
Comical about it, but I think that's what's going on, is that there is this very quiet resistance to be able to say, let's get this in military lanes, not attacking the civilian infrastructure. I don't know what would happen if indeed the president was to order attacking civilian targets.
First, what I think people need to understand is we have someone who's completely unfit for office right now, sitting in the White House.
Diamond Gang, and this is far from over. Just because he feels like, okay, I got everybody to calm down, I agreed to the 2-week ceasefire. Don't you guys think for a second that they're going to take the foot off the gas? They're not. He's going to be put through some things.
With the ability to launch war, who is now threatening to essentially nuke or destroy an entire country and people. So from a constitutional perspective, we are in a crisis. And I think the moment, first and foremost, requires Congress to be in session. And the idea that Mike Johnson let Congress out, that everyone is back in their districts, and he won't...
And Diamond Gang, when this first happened, I kept saying, why are they not doing anything? Why? And then I start doing my homework. They didn't want to take on that responsibility.
Open the doors of the House floor so we can actually have a war powers resolution, a debate, that we're not marching on the steps right now of the White House, that we're not demanding that he's removed from office by his own cabinet, which they have a constitutional responsibility to do, is where this country is at. And it's crazy that we are not taking...
Listen, Diamond Gang, I showed y'all a clip yesterday. They asked President Trump about his mental health. He said he was not aware and did not hear about his mental health declining. Yes, he has.
Taking stronger action against this president. It is crazy. The Republican Party, including his Senate and members in Congress, are saying absolutely nothing.
You cannot have a president of the United States of America threatening to destroy an entire civilization, to openly say he wants to bomb a nation back to the Stone Age. We should have never let Congress out on recess. We should have been on the floor of the Senate.
That part, TMZ caught them at Disney. It was insane, y'all.
Holding open hearings about this disastrous war. We should have been in the Senate debating, like the Constitution wants us to be, a check and balance, oversight, accountability.
I agree 100% with this right here.
But the Congress has failed to do its job. And now this president, who is acting more like a mad king, is threatening societal elimination. This is a moral.
He literally asked, could it be Bridges in I forgot, Bridges and something day, if they bomb over there. He wanted to name a day after the bombing. Like, what?
And we must reject it, and Congress must do its job. This is not who America is. There is no nobility in what our president is doing or saying. Congress must stand up now. Dear God, Congress should come back in session and do its job.
And if they don't, I'm going to have a lot to say.
It's never been clearer that Donald Trump has lost his mind. He's threatening to commit war crimes against Iran that could kill millions of innocent civilians. Congress must wake up. Impeach, convict, remove him from office. If they don't, members of the military must obey their constitutional duty and reject unlawful orders. Look, no civilized nation threatens to wipe out another civilization. No people, through their head of state, threatens to.
Let me tell you something. MAGA is on their way out. I don't care how you look at it, how you slice it or dice it. They're on their way out. Diamond Gang, please get me to 200 likes.
Exterminate another people. No human being vested with official power by human beings threatens to wipe out another part of humanity. Whether we call ourselves Democrats.
That was very dark. Just look at, can you just imagine how other countries view us now? This is insane.
Or Republicans, whether we are in the military or are civilians, whether or not we hold public office, whether we like Donald Trump or we detest him, we must not remain silent. It's our responsibility as citizens of this nation and this world to say unambiguously that what Donald Trump is now threatening is truly evil. It's our responsibility to call on Congress.
Donald Trump has become a terrorist. That is just unfathomable. That's crazy.
The military and any sane individual in this administration to stop Trump from unleashing carnage in Iran. It's our responsibility to call on all other Americans in whatever capacity to stand up against this despotic act of pure immorality.
He's going to go down in history for this. You watch. Our children's children will be reading about this in their social study books. Like, this is the worst. He's going to go down in history of being the worst.
Right. Phone, shout, march. This must be stopped. And if it's not, we must stand ready to hold those responsible legally accountable for their crimes when the time comes.
The president of the United States is.
So he's not going to get away with this. I believe that. He's not going to get away with this. Him and Pete is scared enough. Now, like I said, they started the articles of impeachment on him earlier today. But not only that, he was in fear that he was going to lose his job, that he was going to be terminated.
A madman. In case you haven't heard, he's threatening to commit genocidal war crimes, threatening to wipe out an entire civilization, killing innocent men, women, and children. That is illegal under federal and international law. Our brave men and women in the military took an oath to the Constitution, not to a president. And under law, they are required to disobey unlawful orders. Now, if Trump's cabinet had an ounce of integrity, they'd invoke the 25th Amendment and they would take the nuclear codes away from this deranged lunatic before more innocent people are killed. But they're a bunch of fawning sycophants.
Some of them probably did because the military did. They said, no, we're not doing it.
And so I doubt they're going to do that. Speaker Johnson, you need to call Congress back into session right now. We need to rein in this psychopath. We need to debate and we need to vote to end this war now.
We have some major news. Donald Trump and his administration are in full-blown panic mode as more and more members of Congress call for him to be impeached. And
bingo, I told y'all, he in full-blown panic mode. Let me take it back. Let's go. Let's go. Hit the like, Diamond Gang. Come on, y'all. It's almost 1 a.m. in the morning here. Come on, gang.
rein in this psychopath. We need to debate and we need to vote to end this war now.
We have some major news. Donald Trump and his administration.
Hold on, I gotta put this up. This is my first super chat. Listen, I don't, over here in the vertical world, I don't get many super chats at all. All I ask for is likes, but you know what? I'm going to look for this and I'll put it up. Let me play this video. Hold on. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm in a different screen, but I can see it. I appreciate you. Thank you. Swin, thank you. All right, let's go, Diamond Gang. Let's go.
Are in full-blown panic mode as more and more members of Congress call for him to be impeached and removed from office. There are now over 70 House Democrats calling for his impeachment. This is a list of just some of them. Here's more, and at the bottom you have 2 Democratic senators who are also calling for Donald Trump to be impeached and removed. And the unfortunate reality for Donald Trump is that right now it's not just Democrats calling for him to be removed.
So remember, Diamond Gang, it went from 50. I showed you 50 earlier to 70. If you think he's getting away with this, he's not. He's not getting away with this. 30 more likes. Let's go.
It's also Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene who reacted to his insane threat this morning by saying 25th Amendment, not a single bomb has been dropped on America. We cannot kill an entire civilization. This is evil and madness. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene wants Donald Trump out of office. The pressure is growing on Donald Trump, and it seems more and more likely that he's going to fold. He's going to back out of this threat, which is obviously what we all want.
We know that President Trump right now is in the Oval Office, and that means he's working there. There's a Marine Sentry standing guard. So we don't know.
Working. He's panicking. He like all stuff. Like he didn't think it was going to come to this.
You know, if he's making phone calls, whether he's getting more briefings, but certainly this announcement that he made on Truth Social was the result of intense talks and negotiations throughout the day. The president started this morning, with that very dire warning for Iran that if they did not meet this 8 p.m. deadline to reach a deal.
Listen, he can't take it back. He can't.
And to open the Strait of Hormuz, that an entire civilization would die. And we were at that press conference yesterday with President Trump, in which he said essentially the same thing, that he was prepared to bomb all of Iran's power plants and bridges. But, you know, negotiations, again, as I mentioned, which were being brokered by the Prime Minister of Pakistan.
Listen, Pakistan came through in the fourth quarter of the game and saved the game with a touchdown. The fourth quarter and got that deal.
Apparently went well enough for the president to hold off on that massive bombing campaign. And it was just after 6:30 that he posted on Truth Social. And we know that the Strait of Hormuz was a really important part of any deal to President Trump.
Again, we didn't get to the good part. We can get to the good part where you hear that they got control of it, which they've never had control of it, but they do now.
Because, of course, that is the waterway that oil tankers have to get through, and they have been avoiding because of dangerous conditions that Iran has created. And because that impacts the oil supply, gas prices here at home have been spiking. So that was very important to the president. And he said that Iran has agreed to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the strait. And that is why he, in turn, agreed to hold off on bombing and any attacks for the next 2 weeks. He also sounded really optimistic in.
Man, I'm telling you, if BB do something, I am going to be livid. But I do have a feeling, because Trump, we can't get a hold of Israel. Israel has done a lot of some devilish things behind the scenes, okay?
This post saying that they are very far along with a definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran, and that this 2-week period would give them time to finalize that deal. So this is a major change, of course, for what the
view of this war was totally different from ours. And when you go in with another country and you guys are not on the same page, things can happen. They wanted to unalive every last one of their leaders. And we had to tell them to refrain so that we would be able to negotiate. They bombed and said that we gave them the okay. That was a lie. Bibi is known to lie, and I showed you a video on that, to lie and to drag other countries into war based off of his lies. I showed you a video where they convinced Trump. I can't remember the man's name, but Bibi and this guy was really good friends. And he basically coached him on what to say to Trump to get us there. I showed you guys. Go back and replay my live from last night. It was lit.
President was prepared to do. And we are still waiting to hear more details about how all of this came together. What I can tell you is that we do not expect to hear directly from President Trump anymore tonight, because the White House has called what is called a lid, and that signals to the White House press corps that we will not be seeing him again tonight.
A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. These are the words of a U.S. president. And under the law of armed conflict, yes, absolutely, it would be a war crime. But those words themselves are also a violation of the law of armed conflict. So what does he actually mean? Is that legal? And what can we do about it?
Again, Kushner, he's been intertwined with Israel for a very long time. I told you guys and I showed you the video, and I'm going to keep saying it. He's been knowing Bibi since he was a child. A child. He's been doing business and making money and getting money from the Middle East for a very long time. His son-in-law. Kushner helped convince Trump to do this.
Hey, I'm Cody Harnish, UCMJ attorney. I'm a former JAG, prior Cav Scout, and now I only practice military law. In light of Trump's comments the past couple of weeks about wanting to destroy all power plants and bridges and possibly desalination plants, this maniacal threat this morning to wipe out a whole civilization appears to be yet another threat to destroy civilian infrastructure. Infrastructure that keeps civilians alive. Water, electricity, basic survival stuff. If you just
Diamond Gang, we got 338 in the building. Could I get 24 more likes, please and thank you? Please and thank you.
destroy all of that, you're not targeting a military objective. You're collapsing a society. You're committing the greatest of all war crimes. And the law of armed conflict is built on three core principles: distinction, necessity, and proportionality. You must distinguish between military and civilian targets. You can only
that part, but if they are using it both, if the military is using it as well and it's dual, they can still bomb. So pay attention.
strike what offers a definite military advantage. And you cannot cause excessive harm to civilians. Wiping out all civilian infrastructure fails every one of those tests. But here's what most people miss. It's not just the act that would be unlawful. It's the threat itself that also violates the law of war. The DoD Law of War Manual is explicit. Measures of intimidation or terror.
And that's where Trump messed up. Just the threat alone. Thank you, gang, for hitting a like. Just that threat alone, that is breaking the law. That's a crime. Just the threat is a crime as well. Thanks, when you said,
against the
I
civilian
love you.
population.
Thank you. You said Bibi and Kushner are, yeah, they are very evil. So you know the history, right, Swin? He's been around Bibi since he was a kid. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's go, Diamond Gang.
Are prohibited, including acts or threats of violence, the primary purpose of which is to spread terror among the civilian population. And it goes further. It says breaking civilian morale is not a valid military objective. So you don't get to say, we're going to destroy your ability to live, so give up now. That's exactly what the law prohibits. Now, to be precise, if a target is otherwise lawful, the fact that civilians suffer or morale drops doesn't automatically make it illegal. But that's not what's being described here. Threatening to destroy everything civilians depend on, that's not incidental harm. That's the objective.
Boom. Listen, y'all. I'm just saying, I'm for the truth. That's it. That's all. Don't get mad at me. I'm just the messenger.
That's the war crime. So what can we do about it? If you're in the military, especially in the command position, and you're given an order to intentionally target civilian infrastructure like this, you have a duty to disobey, because those would
Bingo. And they told him no.
be manifestly unlawful orders. Remember, the world is watching, and we're counting on you.
Some human rights lawyers say President Trump is threatening a war crime and could be punished because of these words. In this social media post, he wrote, "A whole civilization."
Do I believe something will happen to Trump in regards to this? I believe that they're going to give him hell, but I think that's as far as it's going to go. Real talk.
Will die tonight, never to be brought back again. He added, "I don't want that to happen, but it probably will."
He's essentially saying that I will be destroying the entire Iranian society, the whole civilization. That's no other words for it. And that in of itself is extremely troubling. And
because he has a bunch of yes men around him, this is another reason why he's doing what he's doing. Nobody is telling this man the truth either about the war. I told you guys, they literally brief him on 2-minute clips of us bombing. That's it.
crosses the line and prohibited under the Genocide Convention.
Jamil Dekwar is a human rights attorney who teaches at NYU, and he says those words, even without dropping any bombs on Iranian civilian infrastructure, could amount to a violation of something called the Genocide Convention, which the United States ratified back in 1988 under President Ronald Reagan.
The Genocide Convention was ratified by the United States in 1988. It is, for all purposes of matter, the law of the land.
The Genocide Convention says it's not only punishable to kill people based on their membership in a national, ethnic, religious, or racial group.
He definitely committed a war crime. I want to say thanks, Diamond Gang, for hitting a like. I'm 21 likes away from 200 likes. I appreciate you guys.
But it's also punishable to make a direct and public incitement to commit genocide. Now, yesterday, President Trump was asked if he believes destroying civilian infrastructure like bridges and power plants could be a war crime, and he said no.
No.
This is, y'all see this, I don't want to curse. I don't. Listen, he said no. There was nobody to stop him, pull him to the side. But that's another thing. He has these people in place that don't have the military experience. Pete Hegseth was thrown out of the military. Like, he has incompetent people all around him. This is like the blind leading the blind, y'all.
No. I hope I don't have to do it. You floated a theory of what the next president is going to have to figure out and how to organize what President Trump has done. And as you said, into 5 distinct buckets. What's broken and irreparable, what's broken and can be fixed, what's broken and needs to be fixed differently, what survives but needs to be broken, and what survives and needs to be sustained. Yeah. You've given this some thought. So I wanted to walk you through some specific things and sort of wonder what buckets they would fall into.
Okay.
Where would you put Iran?
Well, I would actually put Iran into a larger bucket, and that is
sixth bucket.
Well, how we think about foreign wars.
Okay.
Right? Because, I think about Donald Trump ran making 3 promises, right? That he was going to bring prices down, that he was going to release the Epstein files, and that he was not going to get us involved in foreign wars.
That part. What happened to that man? What happened? No new wars. No new wars. Listen. If you're not familiar, anytime that you hear regime change, just know we're going to be there. These are not simple wars. You can't go somewhere to 4 to 6 weeks and expect the regime change to happen. Like, what? I knew it right from the gate. Like, this is unreal.
And the American people voted for that. And it's strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. Because on each and every one of those things that he promised, he did not make happen. And so when I talk about how the United States military can and should be used, as someone who has served, as someone who's fought for this country, I know there are times when the United States military, the world's greatest military, can and should be used. And let's be clear, let's not confuse military success with the United States military with strategic success.
So thinking ahead, Iran, is it broken and irreparable? Does it survive and need to be sustained? Is it broken, need to be fixed differently, the relationship with Iran?
I think that that the relationship with Iran right now is not just broken, but I'm not sure if there's been an articulation.
Listen, it's beyond broken. They don't trust us at all. They don't.
And what the path forward is. And when we're talking about Iran, you're not just talking about the relationship with Iran. You're talking about Iran's relationship with other countries. Yeah. You're talking about a larger foreign policy, complication. And by the way, we have decided to start this war when we're also doing two separate things, that we've essentially obliterated what we have in terms of our soft power, USAID, how America does its foreign aid. And we're doing it while the Department of Homeland Security, whose job it is to keep the homeland safe, is shut down. So,
and that's insane too.
This is the
Congress had no business out.
Frankly, just the foolishness in the way that we're approaching issues of war and peace that I think we've got to be able to address.
What are they thinking inside Iran tonight? Not only those in the regime, but ordinary Iranians. For 2 decades, our senior foreign correspondent, Elizabeth Palmer, has shared rare detail of life there. And tonight she has...
Now, once this video go off, I have one more, and it is basically, how Iran is thinking and what they have to say. And then we're going to get into a couple of the big MAGA supporters, and then I'll end the live and take comments.
New reporting on how people are preparing for yet another escalation of this war. She joins us now from Tel Aviv. Liz, good evening.
Good evening, Tony. In just over 5 weeks, the U.S. and Israel say their warplanes have hit more than 17,000 Iranian targets. Today, the U.S. carried out fresh strikes on military installations on Iran's main oil port, Karg Island, last attacked 3 weeks ago. Israel hit 8 bridge sections. That after an American strike last week destroyed a brand new suspension bridge near Tehran. An Iranian human rights group says more than 1,500 civilians have been killed. Millions more, trapped by a war they never asked for, have simply carried on. Zara Argavan and Mehdi Alishir are trying to prepare, taping the windows in their Tehran apartment against flying glass. They've stored drinking water and, says Alishir, put together a war backpack with documents and medicines in case we have to run. Meanwhile, they're glued to state TV.
But not only that, he put us at risk as well, too, y'all, as far as terrorist acts within the U.S. Like, real talk. It would have, I'm telling you, it would have amped up.
For news of the latest strikes and counterstrikes. Regime propaganda is still pumping out pictures of its own missiles, which it has fired at Israel every day, as well as targets across the Gulf. Today, diehard regime supporters surrounded power stations and bridges as human shields against the airstrikes Trump has threatened. But Zara Argavan simply wishes for this to be over.
That was insane. They was ready to all go out. They lined their children up hand in hand.
Over. I want peace. Quickly, she says. There are no winners in war. Iran has promised a crushing...
And that's how I feel. There are no winners. There aren't.
Response if there is more damage to civilian infrastructure, and has threatened that if its power plants are hit, it will plunge the whole region into darkness.
Liz, we'll keep following that. But while we've got you here, in other news, an American journalist was released today in Iraq. What can you tell us about that?
That's right. She was a well-respected freelancer, Shelley Kittleson, and she had been kidnapped.
Y'all remember I did a story on her. I brought this in. Very smart woman. this was sad, but I'm happy she's home. She's released. She's been released.
From a street corner in Baghdad a week ago, she was held by an Iranian-backed militia, Kataib Hezbollah, but they suddenly let her go today on condition that she leave the country immediately.
All right, Elizabeth Palmer for us tonight in Tel Aviv. Liz, thank you.
We have some big news right now. Donald Trump is now facing articles of impeachment, even though there is this ceasefire now allegedly in place.
He's scared. Did y'all hear that? He's facing articles of impeachment. It's been filed. I'm telling you, gang, he's not getting away with this.
One congressman has filed articles of impeachment this evening against the president of the United States and still calls for the 25th Amendment to be imposed. Congressman John Larson from Connecticut's 1st Congressional District issued a statement saying that he has filed articles of impeachment to remove Donald Trump from office as the president becomes more unhinged and risks the lives, safety, and security of the American people. He is specifically talking about Donald Trump's statement this morning, the war crime statement where he threatened to completely eradicate the Iranian civilization. Now, let's talk.
Yeah, Diamond Gang, I'm almost at 200. I'm at 184. Please, can I get 16 more likes?
Talk about articles of impeachment. They have to pass the House and they have to be convicted in the Senate. Donald Trump's been impeached multiple times and he's never been convicted because you have to get a significant number of Republican support there.
Now, that's what I said. They're going to give him hell, but do I believe something's going to happen to him where he's convicted? No.
You also have to get Republican support here in the House first, and right now you may not get that. But articles of impeachment have been filed. I'll have more updates for you soon. As always, follow along for all the news you need to know about.
And he's nervous about that. Let me bring up this third video. We're going to end the night with this one, y'all. Let's go.
The president is totally unhinged, but this is deadly serious because when the commander-in-chief threatens war crimes executed by our troops, but in the name not just of himself, but of all Americans, we all have to be concerned.
When Mr. Trump joined the meeting, because, he's on time with when Netanyahu meets with him.
That part. He on time for Bibi, but not his own.
But, when his own advisors are there to advise him, he walks in late. When Trump joined the meeting, Mr. Ratcliffe briefed him on the assessment. Hey, let me catch you up, Mr. Trump, since I know you had busy things to do this morning. The CIA director, Ratcliffe, used one word to describe the Israeli prime minister's regime change scenarios. Quote, farcical. Farcical.
I don't know why he thought he was going to be able to go in there within 4 to 6 weeks and complete a regime change. That was never going to happen.
That a regime that just killed at least 30,000 people in the street.
They push a hard line. They have no stop, okay? When you get rid of their leaders, they only become more dangerous. And I say this every live stream. There's no stop button.
It's going to allow people to rise up. And that people think they can rise up and do something in that environment. And that if they do rise up, that somehow a theocracy concept will just go away. Just go away. Yeah. Mr. Rubio, Marco Rubio, he's in the room. And when he hears farcical, he says he's got to translate because, farcical is a big word for Donald Trump.
Thank you, Diamond Gang. I need 9 more likes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please and thank you. This will be ending. This clip is only about 15 minutes.
It's 3 syllables. So Mr. Rubio, he translates. He says, in other words, it's bullshit. That's Marco Rubio and the head Secretary of State, National Security Advisor, and Ratcliffe, Director of CIA. It's farcical and bullshit to think this is going to work. And God darn it, who do you think Donald Trump went with? Benjamin Netanyahu.
The troublemaker. He's going to keep this war alive. He does not want to stop. He does not.
Astounding. You got to read this stuff.
This is breaking news. Iran has now publicly acknowledged the ceasefire with the United States, but you hear the sirens that are going off behind us. We've also seen alerts issued in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait.
That is the alarm. Once they said, okay, we agree, ceasefire, we're going to hear from them.
As well as other countries around the Middle East.
Breaking news as Iran's Supreme National Security Council has accepted the Pakistan negotiated 2-week ceasefire that Trump agreed to.
Shots out to Pakistan. You gotta love them.
calling it a crushing defeat for America, and they would be right. We lost dozens of soldiers, 300 injured troops, multiple aircraft lost.
I told you guys they were lying. I said they're lying about the injured. I told you guys that for the past 2 days. They are hiding the true numbers.
Costing millions of dollars to the U.S. taxpayers, and Iran now controls the Strait of Hormuz, which they did not control before.
Bingo. Did y'all hear that? They control the straits, which they did not control before. Don't believe me, just watch. Let's go.
Troops, multiple aircraft lost, costing millions of dollars to the U.S. taxpayers, and Iran now controls the Strait of Hormuz, which they did not control before. And right now, there's no end to their nuclear program. The full deal has to be negotiated still.
Did y'all hear that? Not Trump. He talked all that shit. He didn't get a regime change. He didn't get a stop to their nuclear program. They got control of the straits, and they didn't have control before. Not only did he taco, he folded like a pretzel. 8 more likes, Diamond Gang. Let me get 8 more likes. I got over 400 people in the room. I need 8 more likes, please, and thank you. I don't care about a Cash App, Super Chat, Super Sticker. Please get me those 8 likes. Let's go.
They still have their missile launchers. They still have their drones. They still have much of what they had before. And
mind you, 2 days ago, they were at 50%. They are getting help from Russia. I told y'all this. I told y'all this.
The U.S. has lost a lot. Their allies have lost a lot. So, yes, it is a crushing defeat for the United States and for Trump. And he should be held accountable for this. Let me know if you agree.
This is what I'm saying. This is what happens when you start an illegal war. This is what happens when you don't play fair.
Comment, like, share, spread the word, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
As soon as the statement came out, I spoke to some.
Thank you, Diamond Gang. I got 203. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go. You're going to hear what Pakistan, they're going to talk about what they did. Shouts out to Pakistan. Let's go.
Let me know if you agree. Comment, like, share, spread the word, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
As soon as the statement came out, I spoke to somebody in government who told me that this is a last-ditch effort. Essentially, lines of communication are open between all sides. Pakistan believes that it can bring them to the table, and it is very close, but there are detractors on all sides.
That's Bibi. Listen, y'all. Listen, he's going to tell on Bibi. Bibi does not want this to end. Listen to this man, please, y'all.
What the Pakistani Prime Minister is trying to do is identify those people out in public. So there should be no confusion on who are the people, both in Washington, D.C. and in Tehran, who are trying to push peace away. I spoke to this source who tells me that the utmost...
Did y'all hear? Trying to push peace away. Okay, I'm going to play it straight through. Let me bring this back. Bibi is Bibi. It's Israel. Let's go.
Should be no confusion on who are the people, both in Washington, D.C. and in Tehran, who are trying to push peace away. I spoke to this source who tells me that the utmost priority for Pakistan right now is to ensure that there is no more blood that is spilled between Muslim countries, and Pakistan is doing its responsibility as a member of the Muslim Ummah, the community of nations bound by religion. And that is why Pakistan feels that it needs to bring not just Iran to the table, but Washington as well. And what you see here in the tweet by Shahbaz Sharif, who's essentially addressed everyone in the equation, is an effort to tell people that this is possible. There needs to be something that needs to give, which is not a lot to ask, because you see, if Iranians have allowed more than 15 tankers in the last 48-hour period, they could temporarily open the Strait of Hormuz as a gesture of goodwill. And the U.S. president, who has announced that he will wipe out a civilization, could essentially say that he believes in talks, he believes in a solution out of this rather than getting more American lives on the line. And
Damn gang, this is how they got to a ceasefire. Hit the damn like for me, please. Hit the like. I can't scream. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning, y'all. Hit the like for me, please, and thank you. Subscribe to the channel, please. Let's go.
Could extend a ceasefire. And he was the only person who can essentially pressure the Israelis to do it. Remember, the detractors within those camps do not include the biggest detractor of them all, according to Pakistan, which is Israel.
Bingo.
We are now learning more about the details of Donald Trump.
Bingo. Did y'all hear Pakistan? They made it happen, y'all. I was so happy to get this clip, y'all. I was so proud. Let's go.
Trump's agreement with Iran, and it appears that he completely folded, gave them everything they wanted, and put the United States in a worse position. It seems like he just got completely outsmarted. So Donald Trump posted the official statement from Iran, where they said that the United States and Iran are using...
This is the 10-point deal. Come on, y'all. I was watching this all day. I didn't get no nap, no nothing. I'm exhausted. Listen, I didn't go to bed till 3 a.m. We got Iran's 10-point peace plan right here. So we're going to hear what they asked for and what they're working to get. Let's go, Diamond Gang. I love y'all. Let's go.
Their 10-point peace plan as the starting point for negotiations. But their 10-point peace plan is just giving Iran everything they want, such as lifting all U.S. sanctions or allowing them to impose a major fee on ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. It would also basically give them control.
So they're allowed to charge a major fee. Remember, Diamond Gang, they was charging $2 million a pop. Come on, man. This is crazy. Let's go.
Of the Strait of Hormuz, which they didn't have before the war started. And don't just take my word for it. Donald Trump admitted to this in his statement, saying we received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Even elected officials are...
How y'all feel about this, man? Do y'all feel defeated, depleted for the ones that still supporting Trump? So he raised all that hell to fold and give them exactly what they asked for. This is get our troops home, man. That's all I care about. Get our people home, damn it. Let's go.
Pointing this out, Senator Chris Murphy said it appears that Trump just agreed to give Iran control of the Strait of Hormuz, a history-changing win for Iran. The level of incompetence is both stunning and heartbreaking. What on earth is happening? And in exchange for all of that in that 10-point peace plan, it seems that the United States gets the Strait of Hormuz open again, which was already open before the war started. So it looks like we got nothing, Iran got everything, and Donald...
Y'all, this is embarrassing. I got secondhand embarrassment.
Trump got fleeced.
So we just have a tweet now by the Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi in which he thanks the Pakistanis for their efforts for peace. And basically he said something very close to what you have.
Harachi thanked the Pakistanians. He happy Iran get to collect $2 million a pop. And I heard, from my understanding, that's against the law. So I don't understand how they let them get that. But okay, let's go.
Asked about, he said that number one, Iran will be ready to stop the defensive action in this war. That means to stop attacks on the other side. If they stop the attacks on Iran, then Iran will be ready for the next 2 weeks to...
Listen, I told y'all in the beginning, Iran was playing chess, not checkers. They've been planning for this for over 47 freaking years. Trump only been planning for this for a couple of months. Like, I knew this. I knew it. I just knew it.
Stop also its defensive action in this war. That's one point. The second point, he also said that Iran will be ready to...
Trump had no strategy, no plan B. He just was listening to what the hell Bibi said. And look what happened. Yay.
To allow passage across through the Strait of Hormuz, basically to open it. But it will be in coordination with Iran. So the passage of ships will be in coordination with Iran. I mean, there is no clarity about what he means exactly. He did not talk about fees or anything. He just talked about broadly about coordination with Iran. For Iran, this is not the end of the war until they see during these 2 weeks how genuine the other side is in terms of accepting the principles and in terms of.
Who want to bet me? I bet y'all BB do something, and I'm going to be watching. So subscribe to the channel and keep your notifications on, because the moment BB do, I'm hitting the live button.
Agreeing on what Iranians think is necessary for them as a condition for ending this war.
Now, these Donald Trump called ceasefire after MAGA turns its back on him. Let's take a look at this. Let's go. Of course, that's Candace. She said the 25th Amendment needs to be invoked.
Unless somebody puts the brakes on right away, we're going to wind up.
Tucker Carlson that warned them. Remember, he's facing problems. He supposedly warned them.
In a place that we can't even imagine. Not just Iran, us and the rest of the world. And so that means, because this is obvious to anyone who's paying any attention, that if you work in the White House or in the U.S. military, now it's time to say no, absolutely not. And say it directly to the president, no. In case you're thinking about using some weapon of mass destruction against the population of Iran, in whose name we liberated Iran, we killed their religious leader for their benefit. Do you remember that? This was last month. Those people who are in direct contact with the president need to say, no, I'll resign. I'll do whatever I can do legally to stop this, because this is insane. And if given the order, I'm not carrying it out. Figure out the codes on the football yourself.
And they did it. Some of them said no, y'all.
Because everything hangs in the balance right now. This is not hysteria. This is 100% real.
Marjorie, we knew that. Matt Walsh.
How do we 25th Amendment his ass?
The problem is to get the 25th Amendment is harder than impeachment. You have to get 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate.
So what do we do?
This is crazy. This is crazy. Alex Jones.
Tackle Trump and let him pretend he's president and publicly report that he's going through a health issue and Vance take over. It literally needs to be something like that. It's that bad.
Michael Jones.
This seems so insane based
Joe Rogan, let's go.
on what he ran on. I mean, this is why a lot of people feel betrayed, right? He ran on no more wars and these stupid, senseless wars, and then we have one that we can't even really clearly define why we did it.
Kiri, Mike, boom, we done. I'm going to go to the comments section, read some of you guys' comments, and then I got to get up out of here. Yep, some MAGA are turning on Trump. Absolutely. Impeach. You guys wanted this war to stop. Now you complaining it's stopping. I'm not complaining. I'm happy. I'm excited. Yeah, Israel is evil, and Trump is a fool and a... Thanks for misspelling that. I appreciate you. Trump said no more wars. Impeach. Yes, that part. Israel will break the ceasefire. I guarantee y'all. I guarantee it. Diamond Gang. Hold on. I got to start reading some of these because I've been putting up comments that was not cool to put up. Listen, Diamond Gang. I wish I had enough time to drop the link. Some of you guys could have came up and sound off. Donald Trump is to American as Captain Hazelwood was to the Exxon. Somebody said, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Okay, everything I said has come true. Oh, somebody said, oh, I can't put that up. You got to misspell. Somebody said U.S. Marshals is coming to get Trump. Something's going to happen. But do I think this part, BB is going rogue? He's been going rogue. And Trump has pledged the allegiance to Israel. And yeah. So, But Diamond Gang, it's late here in the state of Pennsylvania. I'm on the East Coast time. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Welcome. Shouts out to my subscribers. Shouts out to my new subscribers. Please think about becoming a member. I want to start my members only live where it will be lit, laid back, and we can really do and say some things in those live streams. Shouts out to my beautiful mods who hold it down for me when it gets crazy in the chat. Good night, everybody. I gotta get up out of here. Hey, you ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get up out of here. And I'm out, Diamond Gang. Thanks, everybody.
It's under the breeze. Sip with me. I'll pour it hot, so hot. I'll pour it sweet, so sweet. Spilling his tea, spilling and sipping his tea, spilling and sipping his tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's Yolanda the Greek, feeling great, spilling tea. Have a seat and join me. Sip some tea, unwind with me. Let's grab a snack and talk some smack. I'm your girl, I got your back. I got the news, I got the views. I bet you can't wait, I know you can't wait to sip this tea. Sip this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping 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 this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's Yolanda the Greek, shining bright, set the stage. Hollywood dreams, red carpet scenes, glitter and glow, the secrets I know. Drama with flair, I serve it rare. I got the scoop, I got the proof. I know you can't wait, so come and escape and sip this tea. Sip with me, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling this tea, spilling this tea, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea.